good stuff going on. How did that feel for you?
It was okay.
Yeah, yeah. What did you think could have been done better?
Definitely the scherzo.
Yeah, a little bit. What didn't you like about it?
It probably could have been a lot more legato.
Yeah, it's tough to start that up though. Did you try it starting down?
No, it didn't.
How come? Did you just see the up bow was written in and then you just went, yeah. Try it starting down. Try a nice piano down bow and just follow the reverse sort of curve of the bridge and just sort of carry it up lightly. Build it up like we talked about in class a couple times. Ba-dum, da-dum, da-da-da-dum. Right, try it a couple times. Concentrate on a nice full piano sound that's sort of delicate, transparent. It's a little bit almost sinister, like you're holding back a secret, you know? That's not bad. That's not bad. You have a lot more control down there. It's tougher to make those. When you're going up bow, you have the curve of the bridge working with you to make the string change. But boy, you're fighting to make that crescendo the whole time. Something to think about. You may end up, just like spots in the second movement, you may end up having to play the whole thing up bow anyway. It's good to know. But boy, it's hard. You know? Good. I think in more than anything, the scherzo is a mood thing, and it has to stay in that real low down piano. There were spots that you had extended parts that were in piano, and they crept up after a while. You'd start the phrases really nicely in piano, and then they creep up into mezzo forte area, and it's really hard to do. The hardest thing to do is play really quietly. That's what the great orchestras, everybody can play loud, but the really great players can play almost not playing at all, you know? Just really work to expand that dynamic range downwards. Because the ceiling's only so high, it's not going to get higher. You have a really nice boomy bass, so it's really nice to play loud, but when it comes back, you have to find the very minimum that you can find core in that sound that'll project, but that's still really introverted, you know? That's going to be a real thing to work for in the future, just expanding that low end of your dynamic range. I think in your sforzandos, you should think more speed. I think you can do more yeah. Try that on just one note. Try like just a low B flat, like the first time. And try just think of them as dotted half notes. Almost. Think more, right? Think. Really let the sforzando sort of bloom in the sense that you're going to. It's a speed accent as much as it is a left hand. It's almost onomatopoeia. Sforzando. You're doing it all with speed. You're making it S, F, and Z all next to each other. It's something to think about. More speed will get you going there a long way. And I think you lose a little tempo in your scherzo, and I think a lot of it is to do with the pacing of that half quarter. Bum 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 bum. Almost like dum da dum dum da dum dum da dum dum in Beethoven 7 is going to be. It has to have that leaning forward dance-like feeling. This is basically a minuet, a dance movement that he's perverted in a way to make it go faster than it's supposed to go, feel weirder than it's supposed to feel, but at the end of the day, you're still looking for that dance feeling. Dee-da-dum, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, that's going to be falling forward. And sometimes it felt like it was very downbeat centric, B, 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 and it was kind of pulling you back a little. Let's go backwards real quick to the second movement. What's your fingering towards the end for going in when you go from D da 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 E flat A B flat? How are you managing that? Right at the end, da 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 E. It's so it's gonna look weird, but so 1 4 1, and then bring the elbow up, and you can get right, and then you're set up. So 2 3 2. It's also something to think about. I'm partial to that fingering. I think it's really easy to get connection there, and it's not technically a shift. You get to connect A flat on the top and B flat on the bottom without shifting. It's a little bit slick. I liked your stroke very much. In the second one, it works really nicely. Careful of measure 192 after you have the very end of the run. You played a 32nd note instead of a full 8th note. That 8th note is worth 4 of those 32nd notes. It's going to carry all the way through. It's just clipped a little bit short. Good. And then, sorry to skip around. That's what I had for second movement. Let's go back to the trio real quick. Sorry, I didn't go in order. Like I was talking about with Brian, I think your quarter note stroke can have more attitude, can come off the string and really be sort of rustic. And I think in the same vein, your quarter note pickups can be more off. Right? There's gap in there. There's coming from. You shouldn't come from above. The stroke should start from the string, but it should have the feeling of landing from coming up somewhere else. So a little bit more space between those would be great. The intonation on those octave Gs, B, B, B. If it's a hand size thing, you may need to work a little bit on a jump in between 1 and 4. Just make sure, lock that in next time you prep this with a tuner, and just make those octave Gs really sing. They were a little bit not where they were supposed to be today. It may just be the room, you have to sit for a while, all that, but just pay extra attention to those. Your dynamic at the end, where you started to come down, you immediately went to piano. If you look a little closer, bum ba da 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 dum, dun da da. Right? It's subtle, but the diminuendo happens, bum ba da 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 da, and it falls away very quickly. Good. And then the last thing I had was in the fourth movement. What did I mean by that? Measure 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 from the start, where you just have that downbeat G. It was a little short, similar to the thing in the second movement. You played that downbeat like it was an 8th note. I think you can. There's room to go beep up up beep bom. Not a big half note, but just a nice long quarter note to really fill it up. The other thing I noticed sitting from this angle, when you have your bow, sometimes you have a tendency for this thumb to come back this way. I think if you really think of having it more neutral or even arched a little bit, like in left hand, you wouldn't come in and finger around this way. It kind of destroys the strength that your hand has normally. It's an idea that comes in your right hand too, and you're working against it a little by having this backwards curve. That's going to create a lot of tension through this part of the hand as well. Something to think about maybe as you're warming up, other times when you're on the bass.